Welcome to the 4 a.m. Chicken Soup Podcast. Hi everyone, welcome to TGI Fridays. No, it's not actually. I'm wearing the replica of my first big love in football, which is Red Star Belgrade. And I'm doing that because I have here two really amazing guys who also, like me, work with my second big love, which is San Diego FC. Please welcome Marvell Wynne and Sal Zizzo, the hosts of the SDFC Official Podcast. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So let's have a toast. I mean, you guys are at this really cool bar.
Yeah.
It's late at night. We can chill out a little bit after a long week and talk all kinds of cool things.
Finally.
So I actually never had on my podcast real football players. I mean, I had Tyler Heaps, right? Well, you guys
is he not a real football player?
He is. No, he definitely is.
Yeah, no.
He knows a great deal. I have lots of respect for his vision and everything else. But you guys are the first. I hope not the last, but this is something I want to kind of manifest a little bit more. So please, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Tell me about, let's start with you, Marvell. Like, how did you start? Where did you go? Where did you play? What did you do?
Sure. So I grew up here in Poway, California, down there in San Diego, a little bit more east from here. And I started off by going to watch one of my friends play at North County Soccer Park, who also partnered with SDFC out there in Poway. I was 3 years old. He was going to go have a game. They were down a man, and my mom just kind of volunteered me. So I was like, all right, I don't want to play that. But then I went in. You got to run around a lot and kick a soccer ball. So I went and did that forever. From there, started playing club around a little bit, Rancho Bernardo Select, surf a little bit. Then I went to Hotspurs, where I met up with Sal, and then went to UCLA. Sal followed me there. So we went to UCLA together, and then...
So you guys played together?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Played together youth at UCLA, and never together pro, but...
Never pro.
But
Youth national teams.
Youth national teams we did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, U20s as well. So then when I was at UCLA, I got seen by Ziggy Schmidt, who invited me to the U20s. From the U20s, I got seen by a little bit more. I went back to UCLA. I had offers to go overseas, but I decided to stay. Then after that, I got drafted in 2006, number 1 overall, to the New York, New Jersey MetroStars.
Yes, I remember them.
Yeah, and then they became the Red Bulls a couple weeks later.
Yeah.
And then after that, I had a nice 11-year career. I went to the Olympics in 2008. And won MLS Cup in 2010, and 4 caps for the national team. Yeah.
Congratulations!
Thank you very much.
You won the MLS Cup.
Won MLS Cup.
You're a champ.
Yeah, I was a champ. The only star that Colorado Rapids has, right up there. We got a star.
No,
Yeah.
man.
And your position was defender, right?
Yeah, I was a right back for most of my career, but then I went to center back when I went to Colorado. I went in. They were saying they were down, and they had a couple injuries. So they're like, we have an opening at center back. I know it's your first game. Oh, and that story is crazy too. So it was the beginning of the year. I was getting ready to travel with Toronto, so I got traded from Toronto to Colorado. And our first game was on Saturday, and it was a Wednesday. I get a call telling me that I was traded to Colorado that Wednesday. I flew out to LA on Thursday because the first game was on Friday. So I flew out Thursday, met my coach and my roommate. Then Friday, I met the rest of the team at breakfast, and then we went out and played against the Chivas and won on that Friday.
There you go.
Things moved quick.
Yeah. Were you dirty when you were playing?
I was a very clean.
Yes.
I was not. Oh, he'll show you. He got me a yellow card, and then I got sent off one game. I was not. I was very clean, but I was also very quiet.
Right.
Like, so there would be players, trying to get into your head and do all this stuff, and I was just very quiet, and I just waited. I was like, in my mind, I had like a little black book in my mind. If you try to dribble me once, good for you. You got to try it, right? Sure. If you dribble me twice, I'm like, all right, maybe you didn't learn your lesson. If you do it 3 times, that's insulting to me. I'm like, okay, so I need to put you in a place, and that's when I'll lay into you once or twice, and then see if you do it again. And then after that, then
they back off.
They better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I used to be center forward as a kid, so I used to get beaten up pretty much. Yeah.
You stepping on our toes? As a forward, you'd be looking back, step on the toes?
That, and somebody would sometimes jab their thumb up your butt, and when
Never been part of that. The jail league or
Never?
what?
I know a player that used to do that.
Corner kick. You're trying to
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I've never been a part of that.
No, that was
Wow,
the
really?
first time that happened. It was like I almost got into a fight.
Yeah, you think? Then it became normal. It's like you again.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how about you?
How about me?
Tell us.
Okay, so also grew up in San Diego. From Italian family, big Italian traditional family.
Yeah.
So my parents immigrated here when they were 6 years old from Sicily. And everyone's still in San Diego, so the whole San Diego vibe and culture has been kind of ingrained in me since I was little. But grew up here my whole life, started playing, rec leagues when I was 5, got into the competitive soccer when I was probably 11, which I guess would be super late to the game now if you're looking at where youth soccer has gone. Got into that scene about 11. Still played other sports. Played baseball growing up till I was 18. Just played soccer. Started at Crusaders. Went to Hotspurs, where we ended up playing together towards the back end of our youth careers. And ended up going to UCLA. As well, a year after Marv, because I'm a year younger than him. Also played, youth national teams. Got I would say my big break a little bit when I played in the U20 tournament, got noticed, and then signed over in Europe when I was 20, so it was after my sophomore year at UCLA.
Okay.
Got to go there for 3 years.
Which team?
Hanover 96.
Hanover 96.
We were Bundesliga at the time. They're in the second Bundesliga, but
yeah.
So was there for 3 years. Ended up getting a pretty bad knee injury, tore the LCL, ACL. It was pretty brutal. Decided that MLS was the next, move, being that I, probably played in 8 to 10 Bundesliga games in 3 years at a young age. Felt like I needed to start to get more playing time as a professional, obviously. So came back to the league, was still not completely healthy, probably 6 months removed from surgery, so there was a few hiccups along the way. Went in a lottery. I think every team but 3 teams in the MLS was in the lottery. Was chosen by, not chosen, I was Chivas USA won the lottery, so I went to Chivas USA, which I was excited about. Being from San Diego, it was in LA, it was close to home. Traded there after 6 months, went to Portland. Portland for 3 years, Kansas City for a year, went to New York Red Bulls, where I felt like I had the most success.
Did you like New York and living there?
Yeah, New York Red Bulls was awesome time. Just the group of guys, the coaching, that whole 3 years was probably the most successful and most fun 3 years I've had as a professional, along with probably my time in Portland as well. Then I was a free agent after my 8th season in the league. I was a free agent, and then I got to go to Atlanta United, where we also won MLS Cup in the 1 year.
So another champ.
Yeah,
Another champ.
And so I was there for just that 1 year, won MLS Cup. Had knee injuries along the way during that time. Finished up with that, retired, and then San Diego USL was getting started, the San Diego Loyal, and they were like, hey, you're a San Diego local. I know you just retired literally 2 months prior, I think.
2 months.
But Landon Donovan hit me up and was like, hey, I want you to be our first signing. We're creating something over here. And I said, absolutely. It was my chance to move back to San Diego and play, for a professional team in San Diego. So moved back here, spent 2 years there, and then retired again. And so, after 14 years of playing professional, I called it a career and had a great time.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
Amazing. It's so great.
Yeah.
So now
and 1 national team cap. I know Marv's got 4.
Yeah, buddy.
I got 1, and I'll hold that dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Because not many players. I've looked at the stat. I don't know if you've seen it. It's under 1,000 or something like that have ever played on the national team in the U.S. And it's just like for me to even have that one, I'm proud of that.
It's a big thing. Yeah, I want to talk about that too at some point about the men's national team, because obviously the women are kicking our ass, right? And deservedly so, I would say. But I want to talk about that at some point. But first, I want to ask you, like, you're coaching now, right?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the youth soccer situation or youth football situation in the United States at this moment. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's lots of opinions, I think, on that. For me, it's you know, everybody says, oh, it's a cash cow now, and it's all predicated on, you know, parents paying money and this and that. And I find,
is it?
I mean, it's just a hard thing now to break, because it's like, you know, there's coaches, you know, they need to get paid. It's not like everybody can just do a job and do it for fun, you know what I mean? Like, it's tough to live in America, right? Rent's high, everything's high. So where's that money coming from? You know, in a lot of countries, I think it's subsidized a lot from their country, from the government or whatever. But in the U.S., you know, parts of it is, but the majority of it isn't. So, but I also think there's the issue of, like, there are coaches that obviously have egos. I think all coaches, to some extent, have egos. And,
like every person.
think they're God gifts to soccer, and a lot of them haven't really done anything, you know, not only on a personal level, but from a coaching level. And, you know, they think they're all top-notch coaches, and in reality, you know, even myself, right, for the things that I've done, I don't have that type of ego as a coach. You know, there's always stuff to learn. There's, you know, coaching U14 boys there's a lot to learn for me. Just because I played at a high level or know soccer, it doesn't mean I'm a brilliant coach, right? It's about managing everyone's personality and getting everyone on the same page. And then what I've always said is, as a coach, is like, my goal should be to take every kid to the next level, or try to take every kid to the next level, you know? And I think sometimes getting in the way of, you know, wins and losses and status, right? Because when we grew up, you know, it was just like, you play in this flight, or you go to the next level, and there's just a few leagues, and that's it. Now there's, like, you know, MLS Next, which is the academy process for MLS, and then there's ECNL, which is like a privately owned, you know, league, and it's like they're you know, fighting each other for talent, and this guy's gonna go here, and then there's another league, and we're the best league. No, we're the best league, and it's like it becomes, to be honest, way too complicated. And I hope one day it can just all be under one umbrella, and we all move towards we all move towards one goal.
Kind of like it's in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, right?
You have the National League, and then you have the Youth National League.
And it goes down and down and down.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, but it also filters a lot. But okay, so what's your opinion, guys? Like, let's say it's somewhat true that the parents have to be, it's not just investment in money, I think it's also investment in time, and to really get your kid and to feed them right, and to work with them, and to also, so it's not just, you know, I think that it gets to be a big thing to invest in. What happens with the kids who have the talent but don't have, come from, you know, maybe a divorced home or underprivileged or something? What happens to these kids? Like, what happened to Messi, for example, right?
Well,
like, can we still find these kids?
I mean, Messi's special, right? But
I mean,
but
maybe
just
not the
in
right
general,
example,
like,
but
it's a huge time commitment for parents. Like, even myself, I have 3 daughters and a boy, right? And we're just starting to get, just naturally, because I played, I'm like, yeah, you're all playing club soccer, okay? So they're all playing club soccer, and just the time constraints on it is insane. The commitment to it. I mean, it's driving my wife crazy, and I'm just like, well, this is kind of normal. And she's like, I'm not used to this. You know, it's like, you know, almost every single day we're at the fields, right? Every other weekend there's tournaments, right? And so it's just like, that's a lot. That's a lot for even when we were kids. I mean, like I said, I played rec soccer till I was 11 years old. Like, now there's 8-year-olds getting personal training, thinking they're going to be the next Ronaldo, and it's just like, slow down, everybody. Like, let's relax, you know. But it's like everybody kind of one-upped each other, and they keep trying to push it further and further and further. And so now there's a lot of kids that don't play multiple sports. They just try to stick to one. And I don't know. I actually don't really know if that's beneficial in the long run. I mean, it makes sense, but like it also makes sense like, you know, you learn certain body movements from doing other sports, playing basketball or playing baseball,
right.
you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think with the with more MLS teams or more top tier teams coming in USL as well, just with any type of like youngster sees a goal in mind, and maybe if the parents understand that if that's the goal, then the investment will pay off in the end. So before, like again, when we were growing up, if they're like, we're going to throw a bunch of money so you can play soccer, it's for what? The league came out in '96. They're just like, all right, our kid wants to play soccer, we're just going to play soccer. Then MLS comes out, it's like, okay, it's a goofy little league. They have their weird little PK shootouts at the very end of the game. All right. But is that really like lucrative? Do you really want to spend a lot of money?
Going off that, nobody thought like when we grew up, it was like, they're just good. No one saw like a path to like, I'm going to be a professional soccer player.
No. And again, like I mean, we talked about this before, where it was like there wasn't like we had posters on our walls and like we wanted to be this player when we grew up or anything like that. We didn't have that. It was just we kept playing because we enjoyed, right? But now, if there's a goal in mind, like a team, or because there's more local teams, there's going to be local scouts from that team. So they'll be able to go out to more games and see the young talent, maybe approach them. Then they say, you know, you're really talented, you want to do this, want to do that. And they're like, well, I can't. Parents are getting divorced, I'm not financially stable. And then academies can say, we got a program for you.
Right.
We can help you out. So it's more about an outreach program coming from the top to the bottom, trying to find those players that potentially can't just go about and stay in the hotels and travel as much as any other kid.
Right. Right.
So it's possible.
So have you guys been privy to some kind of experiences at the academy that San Diego Football Club has, the Right to Dream Academy? And what do you guys think about it? And how do they do these things?
We've talked to them a little bit,
yeah.
And it's the same ideology throughout, from different countries to different continents. They're doing it right.
I mean, if you could say kids like us growing up in San Diego, if we had something like that, I think Marv and myself would be much better soccer players, would have had a much better career. Just because, you know, there's certain things that they were taught at young age, or going to be taught at young ages, that we never had access to that high level of coaching till we were probably in college, right? Like college and then pros and stuff like that. I mean, now you're getting top-notch coaches, you know, when you're 8 years old, right? Teaching you every little detail of how to receive the ball with the correct foot, and already start to think, you know, how you're playing and how to counter press. And when you lose the ball, what does your mind think? And right, like to teach a soccer brain, right? Where Marv, you know, he was super athletic. Like, I mean, maybe the best athlete in America at his age for soccer.
I'm shocked. He doesn't look bad now. This episode is brought to you by Diplomatico Rum. A fantastic rum, both for cocktails and for sipping and enjoying by itself. So let's go ahead and show you how to make a real authentic Havana-style mojito. So the first thing we want to do is to start with fresh picked mint leaves. So I did a bunch, and this is kind of the way they do it in Cuba. So I would suggest you are not lazy and actually really pick the mint leaves, kind of going halfway up the glass, and then you just take one little teaspoon, or not even a teaspoon, a half a teaspoon of bar sugar. Why? Because you want to use that crystallized sugar to actually extract a little bit of that mint essence. Now, when you do this, don't really smash the mint leaves. You use, like, just lightly tap it like this, so that you release the fragrance of the fresh mint, which is actually what makes the cocktail really superior. So please remember, don't turn your mint into a pesto. That's not what we want. All right, next thing is, obviously, we're going to build a drink, and this is a very, very straightforward sour kind of formula. In this case, we're going to use 2 ounces of Planas, or Blanco, Diplomatico rum, which is great for cocktails because it's 47% or 94 proof, which, as you know me, I love to work with. All right, then fresh lime juice, 1 ounce. Here we go. And we use, of course, our sweetener. In this case, simple syrup. You know my recipe is always 1.5 parts sugar to 1 part water by weight. So now, what you want is to just basically blend this in a little bit. And this drink calls for crushed ice, right? So crushed ice is a beautiful ingredient because it does give you a lot of dilution and makes the cocktail really palatable. So what you want to do is like fill your glass somehow the way up. If you have a swizzle stick, that's great. If you don't, you can just do what I do. Just swizzle this cocktail, really blending in the ice and blending in the cocktail and the mint leaves, kind of like that. And then fill up the glass with more crushed ice, making sure that you fill it up all the way to the end. Top off with club soda. Here we go. Because we want those bubbles to make the cocktail shine. And finally, I like to do a few really cool things. In my case, here we go. I take some Angostura bitters and I put them on top to finish the cocktail. And obviously, a beautiful crown of fresh mint to finish the drink. Havana style mojito. Cheers and stay legendary.
If we had had that at 8 years old with the athleticism, who knows where we could have both probably gone. But that's what I see now for the future for a lot of these San Diego youth kids. It's like at these young ages, if they can get into that academy, like they have every resource, like at the tip of their fingers to be able to do what they want.
Yeah, and there's tryouts, right? For this academy?
There will
how
be.
Does it work?
Yeah, I don't really know if they'll do like a giant tryout. I mean, there's so many good good organized clubs here that, players will all kind of come. I think the top few players from every club can kind of come in, and then you can kind of narrow it down from there. So, it's hard. Like when you're looking at 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 kids to say,
right.
Hey, these are the 10 I want. I mean, geez, right? There's a thin line between all of them. Right. So,
I can actually bounce off of what you were saying in terms of like. So when we were growing up, it was mostly Bradenton Academy, right?
Yeah.
Like you knew players that went to Bradenton. They were like U18.
Yeah. So the Bradenton Academy, if you don't know, so it was a youth national team, basically like residency.
Bradenton, Florida.
So these kids stayed there. They went to school there, and there was pretty much the only one in the U.S. at the time. And so, if you were on the youth national team, and you were 16, 17, 15 years old, you would go to this academy. So like Landon Donovan and a few Michael Bradley,
Marcus Beasley. So you knew players that came out of there because you could just tell like when on the ball they were very comfortable. They were very smooth with Nathan Sturgis. I don't know if you remember him. He was one of the most smoothest players. He's just very intelligent. I used to love watching him play. But like the youth coaches play such an important role, like you were saying about just having like the soccer knowledge and certain skills, because as you get older, the coaches aren't teaching you the basics of soccer. They are teaching you a strategy, a formation in order to win. Like they will take you aside if you need extra to dribble in and out of cones and things like that, but that's not a daily thing. They want to keep you fit, they want to keep the ball going, and they want to instill a playing style in your mind. And then the national team, again, it's like they're not teaching you how to become a better player. They're putting you in an environment with the best players, and then you raise your level. Everything has to be faster, quicker, and sharper. Like you just become better being in that environment versus these coaches being the best at teaching technical skills and sort of things. Right. So, like he was saying, like we were just athletes and we kept going and we worked for the time. We played our positions well, we did what we were supposed to do. But now, if we had that back in the day,
oh man. Yeah.
I mean, Scott would have been the limit, but we did all right with what we had.
My coaches were, they would yell at you, and they would, sometimes you would get slapped if you were an idiot, back, I'm talking late 70s, early 80s. before you guys, it was in Europe, it's different,
Yeah.
Not everybody was the winner. Not everybody,
No purple participant.
No, we didn't get that, not there. So, I'm making you a Mai Tai. I hope
Love
you
it.
like. Yeah,
Please.
yeah. This is a very classic one.
See, I was getting low.
Yeah, I think so. I think this would be a really good follow-up for you. Thanks to our friendly sponsor, Diplomatic Rum, who are really, really nice people, to give us the sponsorship for this episode. So here we go.
Thank you.
Awesome real Mai Tai.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Tiki mask.
It's a tiki drink, yeah. Yeah, so it's different times now for the kids, and you mentioned something that is really interesting. It's like working with really skilled coaches from early on.
Yeah,
it's something that is, I think, crucial for later development, and also I think for integration and versatility, because you can hopefully adjust better if you get signed overseas and you start to play with somebody that's like more Nordic style, right?
Yeah.
There's a difference. People can talk about, like, for me, there's a big difference between Scandinavian school of football to German to English to French, Spanish, obviously Portuguese. They all have a style. Italians, right? And I think it gives players a bigger chance to kind of adapt easier, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. Well, to go off the age thing, like when it's like learning a language. Everybody says when you're young, you can pick up a language like that, right?
Because you're malleable, your brain.
Your brain. And so, like when they're young, they create sometimes bad habits, right? And those habits get harder and harder to break as they get older. And so, when I was speaking with some of the SDFC Academy, I'm like, oh yeah, like what age are you guys, looking at? There's some good 2011s, which is 2011s, 14-year-olds, and they're like, it's too old. 2012's too old, we need like 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds. He's like, there's too many habits at that point that they don't feel comfortable, molding that player into the player that they know they can be. It's already, not that it's too late for them to be a great player. There's going to be great players that come out at all ages in San Diego. Sure. But for the mold that they want to create, it's got to be, 2013, 2014, 2015 kids,
Right.
So, yeah, but I just found that interesting, because...
Yeah. So would you have any advice for parents that think about sending their kids, that think that their kids are talented?
Yeah.
What should they do? No.
I mean, for me, it's about finding the right coach that's going to develop them, and don't chase the big clubs just because you feel like you want to get this kid on the best league or the best team, right? As long as he's having fun, he's playing and he's developing, he's becoming the best coach, worry about that stuff later.
Right.
When they're 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like just get them on a team where they're having fun, they're playing, they're developing with the coach that's teaching them the game. And then if it becomes, okay, they're good enough to maybe take the night, just, don't just push them to an ECNL team or an MLS Next team and get them there and then let them sit on the bench and play 2 minutes, and then that's how you fall out of love with the game of soccer. And unless you love it,
see, a young man or a young woman doesn't matter, and you are like, you want to be competitive, and you're sitting there and growing a beard on the bench.
Yeah. Wait to sit on the bench when you're a professional. That's when I did it. Wait till you're
Good
older.
timing.
No,
So I also want to go back on when you were talking about how different countries have a different playing style.
Right.
And so we're talking about academies, but we're talking about team academies in the United States right now. Yeah. And even the Right to Dream isn't an American ideal in terms of how we play. They're bringing it here. Right. The United States didn't. Our identity back in '94 when we got to the quarters of the World Cup.
Yeah,
when it was here.
Quarters.
They were more like us. They were run 'em, gun 'em, outwork 'em.
In 2002, yeah.
And 2002, like we were run 'em, gun 'em, outwork 'em. Like we were quick, we were fast. We would run ourselves into the ground. Hungry. Now with all these players, I'm not saying it's completely based on these players going overseas and playing in different countries, and they don't have that hunger, at least on the pitch. It doesn't look like it. They have it in different ways. They have their talent is different. They're not going to keep running back and forth. They're going to pass, slow down, wait for an opportunity, then take off. It's just that this player who plays in a different league doesn't see him waiting for that, so it's a disconnect. So in order for academies in this country to really thrive, if we were all base it around an American style or idea,
That's a good
I
point.
think that would be huge for us. We just don't know what it is.
There's no country identity.
Yeah,
I understand.
and it's so big.
And I think that's one of the crucial reasons why we do so badly on international.
I still don't
stage.
know what our identity is. Like I still watch the national team, and I'm like, what are we?
We don't know
doing?
what
Do we press?
what
do
our
we,
style
do we
of play
pass?
is.
Or
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
Yeah, because I want desperately to go and support and not walk home heartbroken, which I do. You know, and I'm so excited because Pulisic and all these guys are great footballers. I mean, they're world class.
Yeah.
Winston
But we're not
McKennie, all
piecing
these
it
guys.
together,
But
yeah.
when I think Klinsmann was really good as a coach, but that's my opinion.
It's funny because
You know?
a lot of fans say that internally. There was always talk differently
sure.
about that.
I'm sure.
But at the end of the day, he got them to the next round in the World Cup, and barring a few misses from a few
But
moments
he
in
didn't
the
have
game
as
against Belgium.
a talented of a team that we have
Yeah.
right now. I mean, that's
Some would argue that team was very talented.
No, yeah.
But yeah, no, I understand your point. They didn't have the legends or on that team.
They had Tim Howard, no?
Yeah,
Ball wall.
He's great that World Cup.
And you were saying about putting the pieces together about this national team. Our playing
Homeland
style does
Security.
Obama said that. That's right. Remember that. Our kind of play style is like keep it, maintain it, and then hope Pulisic does magic. Like there are very few goals that just looks like a build up out the back and forth, 20, 30 passes, and then a goal. It's kind of like a square, wait. Oh, will he do something? Oh, he did something. He scored. We scored.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem as connected or one fluid machine as you want it to be.
Right.
Like when you watch SDFC play, right?
Yeah.
They have a style.
They do.
They have a
See
style.
it. Yeah.
You
They
see it
do.
distinctively.
They-
You see what they're trying to do. They try to do it in every moment of the game. The national team doesn't have that.
Though I totally understand where you're coming from, and I agree with you. And let's talk about this a little. Do you like this? It's a great thing, right? I know. Thanks for sharing. I'm gonna have a Cuba Libre because I just love Cuba. But I watched the Coachella thing, the preseason games.
Yeah.
Drove out there. There was not much to kind of identify at that point for me, but I enjoyed hanging out. And then the game started. I went to LA. We won there, and I have to be honest. Like I was never a fan. Like when I moved to New York to New York in '96, there was the MetroStars, right? But they were in Jersey, and quite honestly, in '96, you would watch an MLS game back then. I was thinking if I have 10 buddies. We'll
can
half
compete?
hour. No. But we could do half hour and play 0-0 easily. Easily.
Not 90 minutes, but
No.
keep up with
But
the
30
fitness-wise.
minutes, 30 minutes we could keep these guys from not scoring on us because they weren't that great.
Sure.
So I wasn't really, I got into basketball more, the New York Knicks, and I was like,
Fair enough.
that was cool. And then, when I moved to LA, there was the Galaxy, and I was like,
What year did you go to LA?
2013. So it was after Beckham left.
Okay.
So it was Roy Keane, right?
Yeah.
He was there.
And Landon, or was Landon already?
Landon was there too.
He was there too.
And they were great.
Yeah, they were.
They
had a great
really
partnership.
great.
Yeah,
they were really great. It was beautiful to watch that team. And I used to go because some of my bartender friends, they had season tickets, so we would go, and I was enjoying it. And, so we went there and we beat them. And they're like last year's champions.
Yeah.
And then that's the first time that I started really understanding why the American franchise, the closed franchise system, is actually effective on one level, because this can happen. The new team coming in, beating the champions. Yeah, they were without Ricky Puig, and and Jovilic just left, which I as a countryman, I was liking what he was doing, and he's a great center forward, I think.
Yeah.
But it felt so great. Yeah. And so I wanted to ask you guys, because Tyler was talking about this on this show, about this playing from the back, and like really having a problem with the ball being kicked upfield and to really do that. And it is a style of play that you can identify. I think as a fan, I can definitely identify it. It makes me cringe sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, you know, but it's
where
working.
modern football is kind of heading. I mean, it's interesting because, you know, if we're talking about the most effective way to play football, obviously, I could go pull up the stat sheet and find, okay, these 6 players are the best players in the air, and I could say goalkeeper, launch it forward to these 6 guys. And then get a few guys that are maybe the best at winning 50-50 balls or second balls, knockdowns, and just play that style off goal kicks. Just hit them long, let them battle, win the ball. You know, and a team that reminds me of that was San Jose a little bit back in the day when they had Alan Gordon and a few guys. And
so it's a big guy who plays at the back to the goal.
And I think any style of football is effective if everybody is bought in and they are playing one style, and everybody knows what that style is.
Right.
Whether it be playing out the back, that's just one style of many, right? Correct. Whether it be, you know, everyone pressing on the same page and playing counterattack soccer, whatever it is.
Yeah, but you cannot phone it in when you play this style of soccer.
Yeah.
No.
You can't, you have to be on it.
Oh.
All lines in the team have to, once, I was listening to the episode with CJ, right, and you guys were asking him about, you know, his skills with his feet, which I also know. I think he's a brilliant goalie.
Yeah.
He's had a great year. No, for sure. For someone who has never been a starting goalkeeper on an MLS team,
he's like
great.
A cat, man. His reflexes, he's doing really good.
For sure.
So, you know, I watched this happening, everybody has to be on it.
Oh,
when he passes the ball, everybody has to be available. There has to be an option right away. Or and another thing is, this style of play is now our style, so people read us.
Yeah.
What do we do? Like you guys as professional footballers, when the other team kind of sees how you play and adjust themselves to you, how do you switch? What do you do?
Everyone knows Messi's a lefty. Does he still score? We just have to do what we know how to do well. So even going off him about before we were saying that everybody needs to be bought in on something, it also depends on the talent that you have available to yourself. So you're saying, you got the best guys in the air and the best guys that win 50-50s. You play that game.
Right.
Us, it's very precise to the point where they intentionally try to make themselves uncomfortable. So if I'm CJ, I want you coming so close to me that the pass that I make is going to be this far away from your foot, but it completely takes you out of the game.
Correct.
Like it go like that,
you're
it goes
gone.
out, and then it goes.
Yeah.
But in speaking that, everything has to be so precise that I truly believe, and Sal talked about this on the podcast too, when we went to Colorado, the air is a little thinner.
Oh yeah.
So the ball's going to be played, when you play it in the air, it's going to go a little bit further. It's going to zip a little bit faster. And if you watch the game, it was just
slightly off.
It just looked like that. Everything was just slightly off.
Yeah.
So it's just all about not only.
I thought it's the altitude.
It is. It does. There's an effect on it, whether it's your breathing or the way the ball flies.
Right.
Honestly, so I think all of that, when it comes to our precision and being bought in, you really have to be sharp with it and turned on. That's why I hear that their trainings are always so intense, because they want to make you uncomfortable so that when it comes game time, it's almost easy. It's like they're putting pressure on you, but they're where you are, and I'm used to being pressured when you're right here. You know. Right.
So
they're adjusting.
You just have to have your style, and you have to. From the start, if everyone's bought in, you have to live or die by that style. You can't start questioning it, right? You have to, if it works, you have to keep it going, right? Like you can't like SDFC, right? They lost 3 games in a row. Now they can't say, now teams know us. We're not going to play that way. We're going to play a little bit more direct. Like that's how you just keep losing.
Yeah,
honestly.
I understand that. That would be the worst thing to do.
Yeah,
it's like AC/DC trying to play pop.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you keep doing what you do. You do it well, and eventually it's going to work out.
Yeah. Again, if everybody's bought into it. If I'm bought into the play and I'm looking at him and he's doing something else, it's gonna mess me up. If we're both doing something, we play good together, but we're looking forward to you, and then you're off doing your own thing. It has to be a whole communal thing. And Mikey's talked about it a lot. He's saying he gives a lot of credit to everyone being bought in on the system.
Sure.
And he said he's very for it. He's saying, you know what? We gave away balls in the back. Like, we're our own worst enemies. We give them their best chances, and we've seen it. And he's like, do you know what? But keep doing it. Like, and we know that, and we want to get all the bad passes out in training, you know, make sure they're all gone. Some are going to happen in games, but if it does, he's got your back.
Yeah, well, mistakes will always happen.
Yeah.
You know, how else do you learn? You know, I always tell the bartenders that I teach, you have to make mistakes. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. You know, that's how that's how you learn. That's how you grow. So I get it. Yeah, it's a different perspective from a fan who sits there and is like, no, don't do this, and then we concede. But that's a part of the game too. And then you overcome and you come back and you win, and it's.
Everything's in football, like everything's a numbers game, right? You have to, in every sport, even if you're supposed to win, you have a quote unquote 80% chance to win, you can still lose. So the whole thing is, if we're playing blackjack, you have the house edge, right? 52%, I have 48% chance of winning, right? Over 300 hands that we play, more than likely you're gonna end up right. But in one hand, it's almost coin flip, And so when they play their style over the course of 38 games, right? It's how can they consistently put themselves in a higher percentage chance to win every single game, and then over the long run, it's gonna work out. If if you're just looking at one game and saying how did it go, that's not the way to look at it, right? You have to look at it over the course of the game, and so. Over the course of the season, I think every game they're going into it, giving themselves the best chance on that day to get the W.
Sure.
Right? And of course, there's going to be games where they lose. But more often than not, over time, the more they're going to end up in the playoffs at the end of the day because of it.
Yeah.
And that's Champions League. Right? Barcelona, Inter, like...
Okay, so, yeah. How good was that game?
Oh, amazing.
we were recording the pod, and I was just like... Can we try getting it on the TV?
No, I watched it.
Yeah, we were watching on my phone.
I watch it religiously.
Yeah.
I watch Champions League all the time.
The best.
And but that game was like
it brought it back to kind of
It's what this game is all about. It's like two amazing teams with great coaches.
Yeah.
The passion, the whole thing, and their
talent.
They're fighting, man. They're fighting so hard. And these kids from Barcelona, I mean, I cannot but not love these kids. They are so great. They're Yamal, I mean, how old is he? 17 still? 18?
Yeah.
He's like...
I was at Patrick Henry High School in San Carlos.
Back in my day.
And he's
I was playing guitar and chasing skirts. Exactly. I mean,
that one-track mind, he must.
Oh my God. That kid is so with left foot, right foot, like so brilliant.
Yeah.
And so young. I mean, it's insane. And also PSG. Like I used to be so hating on PSG for no reason really, but only for the reason that they got all the Qatari money and then now they bought all the
and there's
all the great guys.
Sense of style.
But exactly. There was no sense of style. There was no passion. The fans are great. They have these great ultras with the whole thing. And then Luis Enrique comes and builds this new team. There's not many big stars.
Yeah,
in that
not
team.
predicated on the big stars. No Neymar, Messi, Mbappe. Yeah,
My
God, they look good.
Yeah,
real good.
Beautiful football, I think.
Yeah,
it's fun to watch, and now I'm like, it's going to be a great final.
Yeah.
They don't give up a lot, and they go in hard, very skillful play. All of it.
Yeah, it's so that brings me to a question for you guys. Like, when you guys were pros, right? Was it so data driven as it is today with the coaching staff? Did you have all these other, like these specialized coaches for set pieces, for defense, for I mean, the goalies always had a coach, right? But how was it? What's the difference now?
No, it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't data driven. It wasn't even. It wasn't even when I was playing in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
We hardly, maybe after a bad loss, we watched film. We never watched film after games at the Bundesliga level. I mean, this is 07, 08. Like, I think that stuff is now literally like part of the training week. Like back when I was at Red Bull, this was 7-8 years after my time in the Bundesliga. We would analyze every game after the game ended. And I'm sure of it that they all do it now. Every single club in the MLS. It's like, okay, the day after the game is like a cool down or, get your body right. And then we're watching video, fixing our issues, and then we're already looking forward for the next game, you know? And so that part was completely different. It's like we went through the time where it was like, you know, everything was just kind of the eye test and playing, and this guy, you know, a lot of opinions on players. Now, I can imagine there's still some of that, but more often than not, it's very data-driven. Very data-driven.
Yeah, fitness in preseason, it was just run.
Beep test, and this was your score.
Beep test, that at least had some kind of number that you can associate with in terms of levels of fitness, but it wasn't individualized.
Yeah.
It was just, you need to keep doing this until this level or else you don't pass.
Yeah.
Or we're all just going to run until you can't run anymore, and you have to do this just because this is what we say. I mean, body types didn't matter, size didn't matter.
Yeah, now body fat, obviously you got the pot, the pot on your back to see how much you run, you got the heart rate, it's like...
Oh, yeah.
There's no hiding now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wear like the bra, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Test if you're walking, jogging, striding, sprinting.
How many intense sprints did you make in the game? How many of this?
How many touches?
And then in the training they have the what they call you go in and then you have to write down a number that was like how hard you thought the training was, and then they base that on what they think the next training is going to be, and then they'll either taper you down or make it go a little harder. And now it's just training by training to make sure that you are in the top physical shape.
And you always have those coaches that get pissed off, like, he hardly did anything. When this guy's to sit out again at practice, he didn't even do anything.
It's always the strength coach that's trying to help you.
To the coach.
And like the head coach is like, no, you can do it. And so there's still a disconnect.
Right. So it's individualized, right? According
much more.
To a person, like, and their abilities. Well, I think that's great, but also, like, how much does that influence the coaches in their selection of the starting 11, right? If they are like,
it's one of many factors.
Many factors, right?
Yeah, I mean they look at the tactical part, and coaches still have their favorites on what maybe is fitting their system better, and trust. I've always I as a coach see that, and when I was a player, coaches talk about that a lot. Okay, do I trust this guy in important moments? Do I trust that he's not gonna mess up, right? Even if I look at this player and he runs 10 times more in a game, he has a million sprints, but I also know he's more prone to make a few mistakes that cost you the game.
Sure.
Whereas this guy is just steady. I can trust him. He's going to make the plays he's going to make. I think trust ultimately is the biggest decision maker on players that start or not start.
Then there's some coaches. I remember Ziggy Schmidt was one of them from players that I know that were under him in Seattle. He was if you train throughout the week, you can earn your starting position type of coach. So because you started last week, there's no guarantee that you're starting next week. Like the entire week is basically a tryout for that weekend. And certain coaches are like that. As he was saying, other coaches do have their favorites. And then some things get political where they're straight like, we have a DP. He's worth this much money. I'm not going to sit him for this guy who's playing better. We paid all this money, so we got to play him.
You can have a coach that is going to say, I'm going to treat every player the same. Doesn't matter. It goes out the window if a guy like Thierry Henry is like, I don't want to practice today. It's like, well, all right, take a break. Like it's just the reality. You have to adjust to everybody's personality on the team.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, when I watch Messi play, not now, because now he's like towards the end of his career.
Now he's running the entire team.
Right? Yeah. But even before, like when he was at Barca, his style of play was he walks around and scans the whole thing. And the moment he gets the ball, he either passes somewhere unexpectedly or he takes off. And not many people can do that.
No, He's breaking every rule that we grew up with. Like they'll say, there's no I in team. He goes to at the time the worst team in the league, and he gets them one game away from the playoffs, and they win like 2 different cups.
Yeah.
After joining them halfway through.
Through, and then
I watched it. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
Like everyone's like, we want players that fight, that run, that hit, that hard, and all this sort of stuff, and he is walking like pretty much the whole game.
And he's my age.
Yeah.
He's my age. I'm having a drink at a bar, and he's still practicing in MLS.
There's nothing wrong with having a drink at the bar. Excuse you. No judgment here.
You see his bodyguard, by the way? That's a beast. He's probably making him work out.
Yeah. No. So tell me a little bit about the SDFC podcast? Like, how did you guys get that gig, and what do you guys try to achieve with it? Are you guys in charge of, or are you just how does it work?
Yeah, I mean, basically, Marv and I being from San Diego, we just, we wanted to be involved in any way possible. Right. And that's just literally from purely going to be, we're fans. Like, we played at a lot of different MLS clubs, and SDFC's now my team. I never played for them.
Mine too.
Never played for them, but they're my team. So, and that's cool to have, because every San Diego team that's ever been in San Diego, they're my team. Padres, I'm a big Padres fan,
sure.
great Padres fan. So, I just wanted to be a part of it in any which way. And so when this, the podcast came about, it was a cool thing, cool opportunity to get to, meet all the players, but on a more personal level, get to know them, similar to how we're talking a little bit, get to know them, how they grew up, all that stuff. And so that's kind of where it started a little bit. And then, like any podcast, right, it starts a certain way, and now we're going to kind of see what naturally falls into place with all our different personalities as the season goes on. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been cool to meet some of the the coaching staff,
sure.
Obviously Tyler, and obviously all the players now. It's been fun.
No, it's fun. I can listen to it. I listen to a lot of podcasts because I just enjoy listening to people and learning new things. But you guys do a great job.
Thank you.
Really, it's fun. It's not dry.
Yeah,
it's not like the ESPN, soccer shows. Where it's just not. It's good.
That's what we're going for. We want it to be a conversation versus an interview sort of thing. Like we give our own 2 cents at the beginning, whatever. But we all know. Want to hear from the coaches, want to hear from the players, and CJ was our last one. I mean, all the guys have been great, by the way. They're all super open, they're all super fun. CJ was cool. He was talking to us about him and his wife at the fashion show that they keep on doing every game. So it's been fun, and it's just getting better. It's getting more comfortable,
That was cool to find out about him. Like, that's really cool, right?
It was cool to see how gracious he is and aware of the opportunity that he has, how he's not taking it for granted.
I think he's a great goalie.
Oh, he's same. Yeah.
I think he's
like I said on the podcast. I mean,
he saved our ass a few times.
No joke. No joke.
Yeah.
So here's to CJ.
To CJ.
Keep doing what you're doing, buddy. Yeah. So I had Tyler here and Tom, right? The CEO, Tom Penn, and Tyler, and
at the same time.
Yeah, we did I wanted them as my first kind of SDFC guest because, I have guests from the bartending world, from the liquor world.
We gotta get Tom on the podcast.
I have musicians.
Hope.
Let's do it.
So I have all kinds of different kind of people coming here to this bar. But I really wanted to start with Tyler and with Tom. And one of the questions I asked them is about relegation and, promotion. And
hot topic.
Tom was very business-wise and, strict about that, and I understand. He's like, no, this is this is a $500 million investment into just the franchising fee and then some, to kind of get where we are right now. No.
That's not
Tyler was, a little bit, he sees the pros and cons of it. Me as a European, obviously, I want to see relegation because if you're like my team in the NFL, the New York Giants, you should be punished.
Not rewarded for getting the first pick.
Right, like you should be. No, you should be punished.
Yeah, I can see that.
I had this coach when I was young, and when I would do something stupid, he would make me do 20 push-ups. And then you would think twice before you do stupid stuff.
Sure.
And that kind of why don't we, how do we go about this? Because it's money, it's business. Soccer is a huge business, right? We have to be mindful of this. But there is something to be said about this merit-based system that even Wrexham, that has now the Hollywood celebrities and
one of the best stories.
Yeah, but now they have all this money coming in, right? And they're gonna make it to the Premier League for sure. It's a Cinderella story, right? Leicester had that story, right? They came in, they won the the Premier League. Now now they're gonna be kicked out again. Like a yo-yo team, what they call them, right? But still, it's like community driven. The teams in Europe don't just lift anchor and move to another market just because the money is better, right?
Yeah,
so what are
there's
you guys'
so much to be
thoughts?
said about relegation.
Because you played in Europe, you know what I'm talking about.
For sure, we were in a relegation battle during my last season there, and that was like maybe being that I was so young, I didn't necessarily feel the pressure like some of these older players that were playing week in and week out probably felt, but you felt it amongst the team and the culture, and it was one of the heaviest pressures that you could probably feel as an athlete. But if we're talking about is it realistic within MLS one day, I mean, maybe, but I think you have to get past the hurdle of something that you just mentioned that Tom said is like, look, these guys paid these franchise fees of $400 million, $300 million. Now you're going to go and implement a relegation format where to say, hey, if you don't invest in your team or your team does poorly, you're in the second division where you're probably going to lose 80% of your profit and you could be out of it.
Correct.
Why would an owner agree to that? There'd be no point to agree to that, right? But the fans absolutely would want that. I mean, like from a purely from a fan of watching the sport of soccer, I would love to have that.
Yeah.
I think it would be so cool to see, these small, Albuquerque, New Mexico have an MLS team if they are the team that does well in the second division.
Absolutely.
Similar to when I was in Germany, Hoffenheim, got and they're this tiny, little town city in Germany, and I think that's like. For me, when I play FIFA, when I play Football Manager, I go into the second division, or not even going to the fifth divisions of countries, and I try and build it up. For me, that those steps that you take to bring a small club to a big club, for me, that's the best.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
And so, if one day, again, it's going against the American way of the NFL, the NBA, where they have these things, but you really have to look at it as like, a lot of what we do in the U.S. is always, you can always look at Europe, who's always done it probably before us. And they've, I think, figured it out as far as with the leagues. Like, I think you really have to have that eventually for the game to take off that. And then you would also have to obviously open up the salary cap to just have it be unlimited. And then you start building those super clubs, and whoever wants to spends and makes the money, and whoever doesn't, then the team will go down. And
because money buys you lawyers too. Look at Man City. How come that they're never punished for their
I don't know.
You did that was illegal. Don't do it again. So you're talking about coaches, and you're saying the pressure from the older players and from the management, like it just felt different.
Well,
there's just a level of safety in MLS. I mean, it's not the biggest sport in the world.
There's always next year.
There's always next year. If we were to lose a game, if we wouldn't make playoffs, we take it harder than we feel like anybody else does. Yeah. Like the city's not going to shut down. The managers aren't going to do this or that. It's just everyone's going to be mad at themselves and that's it. So just imagine people who have spent $500 million trying to get in a franchise, and then they're watching their coaching staff or whoever.
Or your salary gets cut in half if you go down, or whatever. You know what I mean?
It's serious
that's a safety net that's just gone. I mean, who would they?
So that brings the passion and the going into these games. It's everything, right? Similar to what we saw in the Champions League semifinal. Right. So eventually, it would be really cool to see. I don't foresee a situation where the owners ever agree to something like that. I don't know the laws of how it can be forced to the lawyers eventually, or if they even have an opinion and how it works.
No,
honestly, I don't know.
We're just debating it philosophically, right?
Philosophically, if I could do it and at the snap of my finger, I would do it.
Because I read somewhere that the Zweite Bundesliga, the second tier of Bundesliga, is I think the third most watched league in the world. Yeah. Okay. They have full stadiums all the time. Yeah. I mean, and you can imagine yourself. It's Hamburg, it's Schalke is there.
Big clubs from when I was there that are now in the second league.
Schalke was like a winner of the Champions League, if I remember correctly, at some point. Or maybe not, but certainly up there and competing. And so they have fanatic fans, and I'm sure they make the money through tickets and TV rights, and it's not, I want to say, that big of a step down, but certainly it is in the European part of the cake that you get from the UEFA.
No, it's like I said, I would love to see it. I just don't know how you'll ever convince an owner. Some of those first-time owners, when they first bought into the league, it was $2 million to own a franchise. Those guys are just sitting on a pile of cash right now.
Yeah.
But the recent ones, the Charlottes, the San Diegos, like, how can you?
No, for sure.
Get that? It might be 20 years from now, where maybe then you can that money is not forgotten, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that money doesn't hit as hard 20 years from now, opposed to. If they do it within 5 years, you're like, what the hell?
All right. Question. So how would you set up the league? Would you have single tier, everybody plays each team twice, and then top wins, the bottom few go down, or would you still have playoffs?
I would have. I would not. I would probably do similar to like how. I would try to do it similar to how the top leagues do it, but since Americans love playoffs and everything, you can do it similar to like how the Austrian Bundesliga does it, where what they'll do is like they play 20 games or whatever, they play everybody once, and then whoever's in the top half of the table, they'll just play each other one more time each, and then whoever's there is a champion. And then the bottom half will do the same thing.
Jeez.
And then it's kind of like they get split into almost two leagues.
In our league, it's the same. Like, you have the top half is playing for the championship, and the bottom half is playing
to stay out of relegation.
It's a playout.
Yeah.
So
wow, each game matters.
Well, unless the champion is decided, they accumulate so many points that because even those playoff games give you a certain amount of points.
Okay.
So say you have a 30-team league, right? You can do everybody plays each other once, right? Or what is that? Maybe that's a little bit heavy of games, but. Yeah, never mind.
Never mind.
No, I was gonna basically say you play everybody once, and then wherever you end up, you play everybody once again. So then you'll play another, but that's too many games. It's 45 games or whatever.
Yeah,
so
that's a lot of games. But
so you have to somewhat condense the leagues, right? Because most of the leagues have 20 teams. We have 30 in America, so
for now,
it'd
maybe
be
even
tough.
more. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, if there's money in it, they'll bring it.
Hell yeah. They will.
We'll
there'll
go to 4 different conferences like NFL or something.
Or there'll be like one year where it's like everybody has a season, and the bottom 5 in the West and the bottom 5 in the East go to the second division, and then the top 20 stay. And talk about that season, how that would work out.
Ooh,
we got ideas.
So tell me, I heard did they decide that they're going to try to adjust the MLS schedule to?
I've
heard of that too, but I don't know.
That'd be difficult. I don't know how
follow the Europeans.
Weather-wise, it's tough.
Well, weather-wise, but I also don't know how they switch it. They would just have. There just wouldn't be an off season one year, or we'd be off for half a year one year. Like
how they transition,
in order to transition it sounds difficult, but
I think it makes more sense, to be honest with you, because the big competitions are all in the summer, right?
You could start it gradually, like push it back a few months every year, and
do our East Coast stadiums have domes? Most of them. I know we could make it work.
But they don't have them in Germany either.
Yeah.
And
really?
they play throughout the winter. It's it's as cold there as it is in New York.
They also take a break in Germany for like
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2-3 weeks.
That's the vacation, full vacation, 2 weeks.
Yeah, but still, like I think that's a smart move, because it gives the players time to actually have the same international breaks when.
Yeah, that part eventually needs to probably change too. The international break part. We're still playing MLS games when there's so many more foreigners in the league now that are missing games with the U.S., with Panama, with whatever, right? And when we had our, what was it, like 4 weeks ago, we were missing Godoy, McNair, and whoever else.
Speaking of which, our team is not the same without Godoy.
Oh, I think he's been great too.
Smooth. I played with him in San Jose.
Really?
Yeah, I was there his first year in 2015.
I love him.
Yeah,
he is. When he's starting,
he brings that.
He's smooth with it.
That passion.
So his ball is or he gets the ball in the middle of the pitch. He loves the cross-field ball to the right. He gets the ball, uses his left. That chip, that's his ball. That's him, and he's smooth with it. And I love the fact that he scored for us too. He's a great guy. I love Anibal.
I really like him. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I think we're coming up on last call, and it's time for chicken soup. So, as you know, tradition here is you gotta have your cup. So we'll have something special for you, because Sal is a vegetarian. Well, I never met an Italian vegetarian.
Oh, don't. Yeah.
Here I go. How come? What does your grandma say?
Yeah, that was a tough conversation to have with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, vegetarian probably since maybe like 6-7 years now.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a player, I kind of ate, chicken and fish, and then I eventually, when I retired, went strictly vegetarian. Made it a little easier. My wife and kids are vegan, which is obviously the next level. Tried that, couldn't do it, so felt like I could probably do vegetarian, and
cheese is good.
Yeah, cheese is great. That's basically the main thing as to why. That, and then all like the foods that have milk and eggs in it or whatever. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait, is this a hangover cure? You have to give me the. Oh, you can't give me the rest.
Hangover cure is very easy.
Water.
You drink water while you're drinking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have to
Hangover
hydrate.
preventer.
The reason you feel shitty
It's just so dehydrated.
is because alcohol dehydrates you, and also arrests water molecules,
Okay.
and so you feel bloated.
Yeah. What
when
about all the people say like Red Bull and like vodka is like sugar and just like, is the sugar also a cause of that? Like so much sugar
alcohol
with
is
alcohol?
made from sugar,
Okay.
so it's a derivative chemical.
What about tequila? Is that they always say?
Same.
Really?
Same. You have to have sugar to have alcohol. It's the yeast bacteria
Yeah.
feeds some sugar and creates two byproducts.
Why do they say tequila is the best to drink to avoid hangovers? What's the point of that?
Agave or sugar cane, maybe?
No,
No, it's
no. It's
I always hear that.
marketing
I don't know.
marketing
Okay.
companies like Tito's.
there you go.
Don't believe
Gluten-
everything you hear on YouTube then,
Gluten-free
apparently.
vodka, like gluten-free vodka,
Yeah.
right? Tito's.
See.
Everything distilled is gluten-free, everything. But
Yeah.
they just put it on the label.
Yeah.
And
Gotcha.
the weak of mind then start like, but you don't have Tito's, I'm gluten-free.
Okay.
Like everything.
So just drink water when you drink.
Drink water is good.
Maybe chug a Gatorade at the end.
That's not a bad
Yeah.
idea. I think what works for me is eat before.
Yes, that's key for sure.
Because it slows down the intake.
Yeah, that's
Because the small intestine is where you the alcohol gets, absorbed into the body.
And you notice
right?
it the opposite way too. If you don't drink, man, you can get
Bad?
Yeah, you never experienced something like that?
What?
Where you just drinking on an empty stomach? How you feel?
I have.
You
So
drink
here
on
we
an empty
go.
stomach, you feel it
Chicken
after,
soup
like, 2
for
drinks.
Marv, green soup
Perfect.
Thank you.
for
you.
our Italian vegetarian.
It's like a
It's like a fighter's
split
name.
pea or-
The Italian vegetarian. Yeah, I'm here all week. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. So
Promise? I'm coming back for another day.
No, you should.
Marv's less than 30 minutes away.
Oh, yeah, this is a quick little hop, skip, and a jump.
no,
for
that's
me.
good. That's good, you guys. Like it's a pleasure to have you here. Like hanging out with me, like late at night. People come here. My neighbors love me because they get to drink for free.
I would love that.
So
Do they come? Yeah.
Make friends fast, huh?
hell yeah, like they come in and then they're like, okay, so what can we bring? I'm like, anything that you wouldn't find in an airport bar. So generally,
So rumple?
no rumple, no screwball, no fireball, no none of that. How do you like the soup?
Good.
Yeah.
Has a little kick to it, which I like spicy food. So.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
yeah, has to be, a little kick to make it interesting. We started serving that in New York because we noticed that people who are hanging till 4 a.m, are pretty wasted. So
They need help.
give them something to rejuvenate them.
Sure. Smart idea.
Yeah. So
Same recipe throughout.
yeah, with the recipe, we have the recipe. At some point somebody wanted to can it and sell it. We did produce other things with our brand on it, like grenadines, lime cordials, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. You play that game too, like it's not easy. It's like the restaurant business is very hard business. You gotta like people. To be in this business, you have to like people and to like to host. Otherwise it's going to be a long, painful decline.
And a competitive markets.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were in New York, now you're in San Diego.
Yeah.
What brought you to San Diego?
Life,
Okay.
life,
happens.
it happened for me. Like my family and I, we moved to LA from New York when I was a part of a startup liquor company.
Okay.
And we needed somebody for the West Coast, and the girls were just about to start school, and we lived in Brooklyn, and
Yeah.
the pre-K there had
for sure.
the pre-K and the elementary school was in one, and they had a cop
Oh,
at the school.
dang.
And it's an
That's why
nice.
everybody goes to private school. And
Yeah, it was a
There you
good
go.
school, mind you. It was in it was a nice
Yeah.
school in a nice area in Brooklyn, right? But still, there's a cop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
Okay. Not for
You
me.
know, so then we came to the West Coast for like a summer. Me and my ex-wife, we traveled a little bit, brought the kids with us, and rented a house in Pasadena. Had a good, really nice summer. And then I'm like, okay, I can see myself living here. I love the weather. I love the marine layer. Excuse me.
Do you?
Oh, well, at 4 p.m. when you're like, when it's warm outside and hot, and then that cool air from the ocean comes in, I'm like, oh.
yeah.
I mean, after living in New York, was California what you thought it was going to be?
I like it. I like that the weed is legal and was since I got here, which I think is a very civilized thing. I also I like it here. It took me a while, because you can't really teach an old dog new tricks. So I was set in my habits. When I go back to New York for work, and I do go often, I feel myself like just perking up, just feeling like 5 years younger. Like I walk faster. I just feel like more energized. It's just I vibrate with that town.
Sure.
Here it's
More mellow.
more mellow. People like pull in the sidewalks at 9 p.m.
Nobody
like,
works. Everyone's like, what the hell? What's going on? Why is everyone here today? Everyone's at the malls are packed on a Tuesday. What's going on?
Yeah. So, anyways, now I'm loving it here. Actually,
Right.
I'm trying to figure out, how to convince myself that it makes sense to stay here after the kids go to college.
I'll stay here. We got SDFC.
Yeah. No, I will. I will.
Well, the reasons are piling up day
Yeah.
by day.
I love SDFC. I'm really 100% behind that, and my job for the team is actually a lot of creative. It's creative, and I do a lot of fun things with
So
that.
you're the official bartender for SDFC. So
And-
what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, I'm the club ambassador too.
Okay.
Hey.
So what I do is when there is watch parties, official watch parties, when there is official events outside of the stadium or the club offices, I go out and team store, and then I organize like cocktails
Okay.
and talk to people and the fans and all
Yeah.
of that. For the team now, what I'm doing is I run the whole founders kind of club
Yeah.
Okay.
at the stadium, all the suites and all that bar
Yeah,
area and
yeah.
all that. And every game we have a different visiting chef, so I create a different cocktail
Nice.
to pair
So
with
you're there
that.
every game.
There every game.
Nice.
Okay.
And we have 3 cocktails that are always featured. The Chrome and Azul, which is our official cocktail, right?
Got it.
And you created that or helped
Yeah.
create it? Nice.
No, that's mine.
My man. Okay.
Nice.
I'm a fan.
Thank you.
Yeah, got it.
Thank you. Then we have the kickoff espresso martini, and we have the old fashioned. These are always on, and then we have a new cocktail for every game, depending who the chef is. Or sometimes, like I was hoping when Inter Miami comes, I can actually do my killer mojito.
Oh, that'd be cool, yeah.
In honor of them.
Switch it to what the town is from. That's kind of cool.
But so we're working on a cocktail book to be a part of the
Perfect.
of the end of the season kind of situation. Like to kind of commemorate all this, and I love it. I mean, I'm the only official bartender of a sports team in the world. So
Really?
yeah,
Let's go. I had no idea. That's great.
yeah, and I know a thing or two about football, right? So I'm in it.
Perfect match,
So it's great. And I take it personally. When we win, I'm like last weekend.
Let's go.
I'm like, yeah, come to daddy. But the weekend before, I was like, God damn it, I just want to go home. Yeah.
Yeah,
Roll me a joint and leave me alone.
San Diego.
Let's go.
Yeah, I like our fans. They're really, really good. They're passionate. I like them. They have taken to it, like the ultras have taken to it so much. You know,
Yeah.
I was telling the higher ups in the team like before, you know, because I got on board like way back, right?
Okay.
So they were asking me like, well, what do we do? Do we help them? I'm like, don't.
Yeah.
Give
Let
them.
them. Yeah.
Let them. Don't. You know.
Yeah.
Obviously, if they do some bullshit like the chance, they're like,
Yeah.
then you have to interfere. But otherwise, let them. That's their thing.
Yeah.
Because
it is.
they're very tribal. If they cannot agree who's the leading fraction,
Yeah.
That's them.
then leave. Like you're not gonna like they're not gonna respect that. Leave them be.
Yeah. That's the best way.
Because I was one of these guys.
Yeah.
You know, growing up. Yeah.
You know it.
And I was like, just back
Yeah.
off.
Let them be the
Yeah.
supporters. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've talked to the fellows over there, the supporters tailgate. That is, again, with the tattoos.
Yeah, they're
First of all,
passionate.
that's
yeah.
real. Second of all, they're like,
Oh,
they love giving like the whole spiel. Like, all right,
Dago boys.
the Dago boys.
Dago
and,
boys. Yeah.
Frontera. Yeah. That's
So
just-
cool.
they're there's hype the whole time, and they'll go around like, yeah, man, what's going on? Yeah, you want a shot over here? Yeah, you got food over here? You want a taco?
Yeah.
And it's all and over there. Everything's pretty much
It's like
based on
community,
like
like you said, tribal community,
Yeah.
part of
Yeah.
part of something. That's what all these fan bases do such a good job as.
Correct.
All of them are very inclusive, and you feel
Oh,
like
that's
you're
very
part of
familial.
something. Yeah.
tribal, but also family.
Yeah, but that's also because I think this is very, you know, this has been kind of. This is a Mexican culture here, Southern culture. You know, everybody's like,
Yeah,
big
familia,
family, big
yeah,
family,
sure.
right? And I love that. You know, I really do. Like, I wish, you know, that in my neck of the woods in Europe, that women were more like represented,
Yeah.
and feeling more comfortable going to games in that area of the
Yeah.
stadiums where the
Oh,
ultras
right.
are, because you know it's usually the tough guys and
Yeah.
No, the soccer
Yeah.
hooligans,
Yeah.
community hooligans.
you know, so.
Yeah, we only had a little bit of that with LAFC. So I've heard just that one time.
Marv was in there with the bat.
You were there?
he had his dad's jersey, like spikes on a bat.
It's a lie. I'm telling you.
Barbed wire
I'm
around
wearing one
the
of your
back.
jerseys from New York.
Yeah.
I'm Sal Zizzo.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming one more time. I wish. Did you get home safe this late at night? And next time when there's a home game, please come and say hi to me at the bar, and we can have another toast.
Right.
Deal.
Sounds good. I'll be there.
All right,
Thank you.
guys. Stay legendary.
All right.